Go.
So, hi, welcome to Going Above and Beyond. And today we've got Tamsin, a very special guest. She runs SA Mast, and they've unfortunately she's been doing fantastic work, really going above and beyond her duty and doing fantastic work in Khayelitsha. I'm going to hand over to Tamsin so she can just tell us a little bit about herself and what they do. And unfortunately, they're running into major problems now, and any help would be offered would be really welcome. So Tamsin, I'm just going to hand over to you, and please just tell us a little bit about yourself and SA Mast. Thanks.
All right. Well, you guys know my name. I've been working in Khayelitsha since December 2006. 2009, I established a mass animal sterilization and primary treatment clinic only, during which time we started. By 2015, we had sterilized over 10,000 cats and dogs, all of them fetched from their homes and returned to their homes. In 2016, we broke everything down and we built a hospital in its place, grassroots, but our hospital is very well equipped. And you will get the same kind of veterinary service there than you get at a private practice, with one very big difference. SA Mast is a non-profit organization, so 90% of the people that seek out our services for sick or injured receive those services free of charge, and I like to refer to their currency as compassion. Wow. And that's something that Khayelitsha needs more than anything else, is a shot in the arm of compassion over and over again.
Yeah. So tell us just about your program, and just unfortunately you've had funding from overseas, I understand, and as well as local, and due to the current circumstances, unfortunately, I believe some has been withdrawn. Or
regrettably, I wasn't paying enough attention, I think, to the mood that on the wind, and I very suddenly received a communication saying that there is a very good likelihood that we will be able to fund to make good on the grant funding that we were expecting for 2020. And I was told plan for the worst, which is what we have been doing.
How many dogs?
It's difficult. It's difficult because you've budgeted, you've put plans together, and then the carpet is really pulled from underneath you. And this is all as a result of COVID-19 and the havoc it's causing in Europe.
Sure. Tell me, how many dogs or animals do you treat daily, on a daily basis?
That very much varies. If it's under normal circumstances without COVID, and on a summer's day, it could be anything from 100 to 200. And that's from primary treatments, which is just your run-of-the-mill general treatments, to then dealing with emergency cases like illness, car accidents, attacks. Anything you can imagine under the sun, most of which doesn't make it onto our Facebook page because it's too graphic in nature.
Yeah, sure. So you've been there for 14 years, 100 to 200 animals a day. I mean, you're doing some fantastic work, and I mean, your primary goal is to really sterilize, because obviously if you sterilize, then it prevents babies, puppies, which can multiply exponentially within time. I mean, I know my wife is involved, and she always quotes a stat: if one, if a female dog isn't sterilized after 4 years or after 2 years, I can't remember the stats, but it's like something like phenomenal.
So basically, the way it works is the stat that is going around is actually, if it's the one that I'm thinking of, it's just totally and utterly incorrect. And it's making a bad situation even worse. And as far as I'm concerned, there's no need to make it any worse.
Yeah.
What you have to take into account is mortality rates, for starters.
Yeah.
So you talk about a dog having a puppy, 6 puppies, 3 are female, 3 are male.
Yeah.
But then what you have to realize is that in a township environment, generally speaking, at least a third will die before they reach any kind of sexual maturity.
Yeah.
And then possibly another third, if they do not have veterinary intervention, will die from sickness or injury at some point. So that being said, you're looking at over a 2-year period of well over 2,000 animals coming into the system, leaving the system, but exhausting not only the animal welfare organization, but as well as the community. And despair becomes indifference. Indifference often leads to neglect.
Yeah, sure.
Which in turn often becomes cruelty. So our job at SA Mast is we've sterilized well over 20,000 cats and dogs. And we're incredibly proactive. We don't wait for the animals to come to us. We go see if shacks, and we'll go and canvas. And the trick is to always to maintain, because you cannot do a once-off sterilization campaign and go, job's done.
No.
New animals are coming into the area. You have to create a stability. And with stability comes an increase in the health and welfare of the existing animals. So if you've got dead and dying everywhere, how do you start focusing on diet, as an example? How do you start focusing on things like shelter or vaccinations? So it's really important to have a stable animal population and to make sure it's healthy.
And you say 20,000, is that per annum or since you started? Is that?
No, that's since we started. So when we started with one little shipping container, 2 staff members, including me, no toilet for us at any rate.
Wow.
And I just kept saying, as long as you put one foot in front of the other. Unfortunately, you are in a township environment, so often it's, and I'll be blunt, it's 2 steps forward, 1 step back. And if you look at what happened last week Friday, again. But I think
what happened? Just maybe expand on what happened and where we are at the moment.
So on the 24th of April, while one of our animal ambulances was reversing out of the clinic, and so the gates were open, 5 robbers, 3 of them with guns, stormed our clinic, and in 15 minutes inflicted a significant amount of damage, stole all means of communicating with the outside world in every conceivable way, and terrorized my staff. I only arrived minutes later, and obviously under lockdown it's been incredibly difficult to try and repair, but it's
costly.
Well, today I had a meeting with 2 security companies. American Compass was the one, and Fidelity was the other. And essentially, if I go with American Compass, African Compass.
Now, maybe don't mention the prices because it's going to be on air, so maybe just keep it confidential. But it's expensive, I understand.
It's expensive. We're looking at about 240,000 rand per annum either way.
About 20,000 rand a month to give you security so you can operate. You can operate under normal conditions or operate so safely. I mean, besides that, you also need, I'm sure you need equipment because the phones and all of that's gone. I mean, there is a wish list on your...
We got the cell phones donated. We need to buy another laptop and one that can handle the kind of traffic and scanning and, all of that for scripts and so on and so forth. And I think the very big expense that's also coming up is that our palisade fencing needs to be raised. So that's probably going to cost in the region of 70,000, 80,000.
Yeah.
And we need to create a double entrance and exit so that at any given time, only one of the gates are open, so that it isn't a question of waiting for your moment to run in and storm the clinic. And I do want to say one thing. We're talking about a small percentage of people living in Khayelitsha that are the criminals.
Yeah.
The rest of the people in Khayelitsha are good people just trying to make it through the day.
No,
and that's who we're there for.
Yeah. So it's to save to save you guys, because obviously your funding plus this other issue, this other disaster which has happened, but I believe you're still operating under the very tough conditions and doing unbelievable work. So I really commend you. It's challenging, and in this time it's super challenging.
You think that you can't possibly be more challenged, and there you are. The way people can help is, just things that keep me awake at night is maintenance of our vehicles, of our animal ambulance, just a decent, credible workshop that will help us out, maybe provide some of it on a pro bono basis, or just, but somebody who really just wants to make a difference and keep our animal ambulances on the road. That's one thing. Obviously our vehicles are our workhorses.
Sure.
Dogs and cats don't fly, and that's the truth. They don't fly. They have to be collected.
Sure. Okay, well, I'm going to post this in samast.co.za. It's samast.co.za, and if you can go on their website, and there's a donation button there, and there's a wish list. And if someone wants to contact Tamsin directly, I think the contact details are there. So hopefully we can get some generous donors and people who can help out in any way they can. And please God, everything will hopefully get much better for you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Tamsin. Thanks for your time, and all the best. And we'll hopefully
thank you for reaching out. If enough people do it, we'll get through this.
Yeah.
Because we are African after all. We know what a tough time is.
Yeah. And really, thanks for going above and beyond your duty. You're going way above and beyond.
I don't see it that way. I see it as it's as natural for me to go to Khayelitsha and to work with my incredible team as it is for me to breathe.
Sure. Wow. Okay, thanks, Tamsin. We're going to leave it there. But it could carry on forever, but thanks very much for your time, and have a great weekend.
Thank you. Goodbye, everyone. Thanks for hearing me out.
Thanks. Bye.